claimed that he has been skipping critical U.S. negotiations. Her gotcha moment didn't work out so well.
I was shocked to see that you were at a party with President Trump in Miami instead of accompanying Vice President Vance to Pakistan for negotiations.
What party was I at? I was at a party?
It's publicly reported, and there's photos there.
But what party? No. But you're going to say that. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to answer that question because that's an absurd statement. I was not at a party.
Finish my paragraph.
100% inaccurate and 100% wrong. And I was not at a party. Where I was is next to the president. Because in the midst of those negotiations, I was in communications with them. I know your staff wrote up this cute statement for your TikTok video, but it's not true. And it's not real. That's not what happened. Okay? I'm the National Security Advisor and Secretary of State. I was co-located with the president in the midst of a high-stakes negotiation so that I could immediately inform him about events occurring halfway around the world.
CBS News anchor Scott Pelley has been fired after confronting his boss and claiming editor-in-chief Barry Wise as murdering 60 Minutes. Steve Jordahl reports.
Former anchor and managing editor of the CBS Evening News, Scott Pelley, was fired Tuesday night after lashing out in a staff meeting with new executive producer Nick Bilton, where he accused editor-in-chief Barry Weiss of, quote, murdering 60 Minutes. Tim Graham of Media Research Center says the complaints and leaks have been showing up online from the moment Weiss was tapped to lead CBS News.
When you go out to war in the press with leaks or whatever, attacking your bosses and then say, I'm shocked I was fired. Nobody should be shocked.
Barry Weiss has been at the helm of CBS News for 8 months and has methodically been restructuring the network to remove the bias. Graham says she's doing so at the bidding of CBS's new owner, Paramount, and its CEO, David Ellison.
Barry Weiss has been in charge for a while now. She tends to take on one show at a time. She's left 60 Minutes to its own devices, and it really hasn't changed very much.
It's now 60 Minutes' turn.
Now she's come in and, sacked the executive producer and some correspondence.
Graham says it's only been 8 months, so the jury is still out, but the promised changes at CBS News are slow in coming.
This is still sappy soft to the Democrats' CBS News. It's not changing under Barry Weiss.
I'm Steve Jordahl.
And finally, there's yet another sign of resilience in the job market. Jenny Casola takes a look at the numbers.
Payroll processing company ADP says 122,000 new positions were created by private employers last month, more than expected. And ADP says pay rose 4.4% from the year before. Economist Dr. Neela Richardson says hiring was more broad-based in May than we've seen in the last few years. The labor market continued to show sustained momentum going into the summer hiring season. Among sectors hiring, construction, manufacturing, financial activities, education, and health services, leisure, and hospitality. Jenny Coselda, Fox News.
There's more news online at afn.net and download the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
The American Family Association's mission is to inform, equip, and activate individuals to strengthen the moral foundations of our culture. We also support the church. Our goal is to be a leading organization in biblical worldview training for cultural transformation. AFA aims to evangelize the lost and disciple the believer. We aim to strengthen biblical marriages and equip parents to raise godly children.
Thank you for standing with the American Family Association. Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. Today's Wednesday, June the 3rd, 2026. All right. Well, in studio with me is slightly better than average team we've assembled here, but they're better than average. And that's Wesley. Leading off for us is Wesley Wildmon. Good morning, Wesley.
Good morning. I'm ready for Wednesday.
Ready to go?
Give our audience the best we got.
We're going to bring it.
We're going to bring it.
Fred Jackson. Good morning, Fred.
Good to be here.
And Chris Woodward.
As somebody that is below average height,
right.
I'll take better than average in anything.
Being called slightly above average.
In anything.
It just means more.
In anything.
It just means more.
You remember that, what are you, 5'8", 5'9"?
No, I'm 5'6" on a good day with the right shoes.
You know how many great people in history, though, have been right around your height, though?
Muggsy Bogues, Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus.
Go way back. Yeah.
Yeah, The Hobbit.
Yeah. That's the one that's the one I couldn't think of, but that's the one I was trying to figure that one out, The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you
Yeah.
admitting to be the resident hobbit?
Yeah, years ago. Well, actually, when we had the Engage project years ago, the guy that was running it at the time, he since left to go do some other great work for the kingdom. But we joked that I was the Papa Smurf of the Engage team because not only am I short, but I look like I'm old enough to be everybody's grandpa. So,
And that's only because of the gray.
yeah, I saw a kid yesterday at one of our fellowship activities that we had yesterday afternoon, and this young man, his grandmother works for us. And my wife and I had the opportunity to teach him in Sunday school for a few years, and it had been several years since I saw him. And I said, "Hey, so-and-so, good to see you." And he said, I mean, no filter at all on this kid. He went, "You've gotten grayer since the last time I saw you." I was like, "You enjoy that hot dog."
But you wear it well.
I try,
You'd
man.
almost like I would almost thought you dyed it that way. Like it looks good on you.
I do joke on occasion that I actually dye my hair gray.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm sitting here wearing, you're not a hobbit. You're wearing tennis shoes, it appears to me. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enough picking on Chris about. But, hey, like I said, many people down through history have done great things who have been your elevation. I would look at it on.
I'm one of the last people to know it's raining, so that works.
All right. Last people. Bada boom. All right. Go ahead, Chris. What is our first news story?
Well, let's begin with Iran, where yesterday.
No, let's move on, Chris.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about Iran anymore. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's an important international story that a lot hinges on what's going to happen.
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right. So yesterday, Iran started to fire missiles at places in the Middle East that have U.S. military presence, a U.S. military presence. They even hit an airport in the Kuwait area, which Kuwait came out and condemned the very violent and dangerous attack on civilians there. Meanwhile, President Trump is still out there saying that negotiations are continuing. And in this particular soundbite, the president himself says that he is actually getting along quite well with the new Iranian leader. Don't take my word for it. Clip one.
He is giving approval because that's the way it has been for a long, long time. His father and then him, I guess it's a succession. But we seem to be getting along quite well.
I don't believe that.
I don't either.
Anybody
but
believe
I play
that?
it anymore.
Anybody believe that anymore?
No.
His voice is getting really weak.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
think
know.
he's
If that, I don't know if that's permanent. I'm not permanent. I don't know if that's just he's tired.
Yeah,
I
think
mean, I
so.
can't blame him. Anybody. He's almost 80 years. He'll be 80 years old this month.
June 14th is his birthday.
Yeah, Fred. Everything's going very well. What does that mean? I've heard that for.
Well, I find that amazing. They said he's getting along with his Islamic leader, and at the same time, he confirmed overnight his insult of Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel, where he called him an expletive the other day and added crazy to it. That's how he referred to Netanyahu the other day. He's upset with Prime Minister Netanyahu because Israel is defending itself against attacks from Hezbollah terrorists in Lebanon. But he referred to Netanyahu as crazy, but now he's praising this Islamic leader, who I refer to as mass murderers. That's what they are. The leadership of Iran are mass murderers.
Yeah, I don't even know what play that again, because he says getting along very well or something. Play that again.
He is giving approval because that's the way it has been for a long, long time. His father and then him, I guess it's a succession. But we seem to be getting along quite well.
Is he talking personally there, or is he talking about the U.S. negotiating with this fella?
Well,
we're talking about the guy who was about blown to pieces, right, Wesley?
Yeah.
That
we're not sure is actually alive. Keep that in mind.
So how do you get along well with somebody who may be dead?
Right.
Well, the Bible forbids that. I think.
Getting along with the dead.
Well, I don't think we're supposed to be negotiating and communicating with dead people.
Yeah.
Well, and plus it's not going well, as Chris has just told us.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's bombing back and forth. We had to take out another ship that was trying to break the blockade the other day.
Yeah.
To say that things are going well?
Yeah, I don't know. He just needs to turn all his talking over to Marco Rubio.
Yes.
Okay, the Secretary of State. I would just say. Anyway, I think President Trump sounds like to me he's exhausted. Sounds like. I don't know this. He's going to turn 80 years old this month. And I think he's in a situation that he doesn't know what to do. And most presidents don't want to admit that. And so that's my opinion.
I kind of alluded to this yesterday, but I'm a lot further into the MAGA camp than you are, but I'm not covering for him on this one. I'm not covering for him on this
compared
one.
to you.
Yeah, compared to me.
I'm a lefty. Go ahead.
Well, there's been many times over the years that whether even in Trump's first term and when he was not in the office and now in his second term, there's been many times over the years where I've seen things slightly different than you on a certain things that he does, such as
President Trump. You talking about?
President, I'll give you one example, and then I'll make a point.
You calling me out?
I'm calling you out.
Okay, listening.
So I'm saying there's been times over the years, like when he would say things like, "We're going to take over Alaska." You may say, "Well, that's the."
You mean Greenland? We already got Alaska.
I'm sorry, not Alaska.
Yeah, we already got Alaska. We got it before Trump.
Do we have Hawaii too?
We got Hawaii.
Okay, got Hawaii.
We got Hawaii and Alaska.
Okay, so that's good.
Our sights are on Greenland.
Greenland. So when he
and
would
Cuba
say
and Venezuela.
When he would say, "I would take over we need to take over Greenland," or however he phrased it, you would say, "What the fishermen?" And then I would come back and go, "Well, there's minerals." So that's kind of the back and forth.
I would mock it, and you would say, "Well, maybe there was a good
maybe
reason for Trump wanting to have Greenland."
Right.
I got you.
Okay.
Because you're a serious national scholar.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Go ahead.
No, I was just reading serious national scholars.
I know. Go ahead.
But the point is, on this one, I'm not covering for him anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it. He is.
So what you're saying is
frustrated
you're generally a Trump defender, and he does
His
have
first
good
reaction.
I will admit this, and I've said this. He has demonstrated good political instincts in his time in office, going back to 2016 overall.
Yeah, because he would just do the opposite of what the left wanted.
Yeah.
So that would help. I mean, usually that's a good thing.
And he didn't care about.
He didn't care what they thought.
That's right.
Yep.
So, but his tendency, Fred, President Trump's tendency to.
I'm specific. Let me be very
spin things.
Let me be very specific. I am tired specifically of getting updates on the middle on Iran that are not updates.
Let me write that down.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll need to know that for tomorrow.
No, you don't want. If you watch Fox News, you don't want to hear any ding 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 update.
Yeah. Well, and
Sean Hannity went to the restroom.
And further than that, I am not just I'm talking about of Iran.
Okay.
The Iran updates, because it's frustrating. I feel like they're dragging the MAGA group along here with no end in sight.
Okay. And then So what would be wrong, Fred, with saying President Trump? I know this would go completely contrary to his personality, but what would be wrong with saying we don't have any updates for you?
Mm-hmm.
And until we do, we're not gonna answer questions. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
if
is our press secretary? Is she still on maternity leave?
I haven't. Carolyn Levitt. I haven't
She
heard
was
from her.
She's on maternity leave.
Yeah, cabinet secretaries have been doing the press briefing for a couple of weeks.
So she's using having a baby for missing work?
Imagine that.
Huh? I thought women were co-equals.
Oh, there, yeah.
Okay.
I'm on my own.
You're on
Who's
your
with
own.
me?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to. You know what?
I'll play Ed here for a second. I'm going to rescue you.
Okay. I need to shutty right here, right? Those who watch King of Queens know what I'm talking about. All right. So anyway, Carolyn Levitt is on maternity leave.
Mm-hmm.
She's about to give birth. Is that
No, she had a baby.
Yeah,
She had a baby. I missed that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, my point is, when there's nothing left to talk about, no new updates, maybe you shouldn't give any. But on the other hand, we are talking about a war, and we are talking about something that affects the world and the economy, and so probably what I'm asking for wouldn't be doable. But anyway, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you said something a moment ago. I agree 100% that if you want a spokesperson for the Trump administration on this, default to Marco Rubio.
Yes. Yeah. Let the Secretary of State handle it. If I were President Trump, I would say, I have no more comments on this at this time. When I will. But in the meantime, if you have any, direct them to Secretary of State Rubio.
Now, he is brilliant.
Yeah.
He is
Rubio?
brilliant. Rubio is brilliant. He is good under fire. And when he responds, it is thorough. It is truthful. And I think he should be the official spokesman for this war.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm not saying this a month from now, but this has to stop in Iran.
Oh, absolutely.
And it has to stop, and it starts with the President Trump and the military and the leaders. I just don't understand how they did not calculate, how did they not account for the Strait of Hormuz? On top of that, if they did account for it, how is it that Iran is controlling the negotiation?
I don't get that either.
You're not in charge then.
How can you take out their whole military, and then you can't control 20 miles of a strait? In other words, I don't understand why. Now, I'm speaking as a novice, as a person who is ignorant of most military operations, but I don't understand how. If you open up that strait, you tell the Strait of Hormuz, which is the place that leaves is it the Persian Gulf? Goes
Gulf
into
of Oman.
Gulf of Oman. That all those merchant ships, including the oil ships, go through every day. It's vital to how you say that this country that doesn't have any military left can dictate to the world who can go through there. I don't understand, because it seems like to me, if in fact you tell Iran, you fire on any ship, wherever that missile comes from, we're going to blow that place to smithereens.
Yep.
And why wouldn't that stop this thing? I just don't know.
That's what I'm building frustration on.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
For critics out there, and not just Democrats, who were saying things like Trump got us involved in a war or a conflict that we can't get out of. This, no pun intended, gives them ammunition. The fact that it seems to be we're negotiating with the bad guy, but he's getting to call all the shots.
And we're getting along well.
Yeah, and it's how many times have we heard gas is going to come down? I looked it up the other day. So Operation Epic Fury, the strikes that led to all this, that started all this, that was on February 28th. And at some point around the middle of March is when he and other members of the administration started to say gas is going to come down. Gas is going to come down. We're 2 weeks out from bringing it into this. It would seem that we got involved in this thinking we would be out of it by, I don't know, the end of March. And here we are going into June. We're in June now, and gas is down 20 cents in the last week, but it's still way more than it was this time last year when things were just starting to come down.
All right, let's review here, because I do want to defend President. Now, everything's hindsight's 20/20, as the old expression goes. By the way, you are listening to the radio program Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Tim, Wesley, Fred, and Chris. I'm going to go back to how this started for just a moment, because President Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel and U.S., decided that the time was now to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of this, because it's easy to get lost in the day-to-day weeds, so to speak. That is I support that effort.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, I support that effort as that premise right there. Okay, so and I think most Americans,
70%.
at least 50, 60% support that idea. No, don't let these religious crazies get their hands on a weapon of mass destruction like a nuclear weapon. Okay. So, how do we stop that from happening? This is where I think the lack of I don't know if you would call it a possibility they didn't consider. I'm talking about they being the U.S. and Israel. That is to say, okay, we're going to bomb them and bomb them and bomb them. We're taking out their Navy, their Army, their missile launchers, whatever. And they're going to come to the table and they're going to say, well, they're going to cry uncle and say, okay, we'll give you what you want. That is, we'll give up the attempt to have nuclear weapons. And because we don't want to be bombed anymore. Okay. This is where it hasn't been explained to me, or I don't understand what the contingency plan was if in fact Iran said, we don't care, you can bomb us. Well, I mean, we do care, but you can bomb us, but we're not going to tell you we're giving up our uranium enrichment, and we don't care what you do. That seems to be where we are.
That's
and
right.
then you go in to talk to President Trump and you go, what now? And he goes, you mean they didn't give in? No, sir, they didn't give in. I don't know what to do. That seems to be
that seems
to be where we are.
That's right. Yep.
I don't know if I hope that's fair, because I think the President Trump, I think that's where we are, and President Trump's not exactly one to.
And the closest thing
to say I don't know what to do now.
And about 3 weeks ago too, we were at a point where it was all right. Remember, he said he was gonna destroy the civilization. Remember this one?
Yeah, he said he's going to wipe out a civilization.
But then he said, okay, now we're going to take out bridges.
48 hours.
But on that front, when he did that, that's when they lined up their women and children.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they have the upper hand here.
Yeah, because they're willing to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead,
So
Fred.
we can look at possibilities. Did President Trump really not understand the mentality?
No, he didn't.
No.
Of these people? You just referenced how they respond when the threat on the bridges.
Yeah.
They put their own citizens,
Yeah.
men, women, and children, on those bridges.
These are
Mostly
zealots.
women
Yeah.
and children, but
That's where their thinking is. And I'm not sure. I've said about the Islamic regime, they are evil to the core, but they don't say they're not smart.
Yeah.
They completely understand that we are facing an election in this country.
mm-hmm.
They're using that.
Yeah.
And then somebody around their table said, let's take control of the Strait of Hormuz. That'll really mess things up. And we're going to start bombing Kuwait and Qatar and the UAE. That'll create more chaos. And by the way, the mainstream media in the United States doesn't like our enemy, Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
And so they've got these cards. President Trump keeps saying, we have all the cards. No, you don't. They
Yeah.
understand that you have political realities in this country right now. I think I would have waited until after the November election to do this campaign,
Yeah.
because you have
But what if you couldn't, Fred? Because time was the essence. They're about to get a nuclear weapon. That's what we were told. I mean, they were within what, weeks or days, or that's what we were told.
That's what we were told.
But we were also told last June we got them. We
Yeah.
took it out. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then it comes back. We took it out. Oh no, we didn't. So I don't know what to believe
on that topic.
On that topic, yeah. So I do think you're right. The Iranians understand there's an American election in the fall, and the longer they can drag this out, the more it hurts President Trump and weakens him.
Yep.
And
But
now,
I don't think you have to wait if you go in there and you do it, and within 10 days, I felt good enough about. All right, sounds good. Let's wrap it up. Come on. After 10 days of just destroying their military, offsetting them.
Also, Chris, I think President Trump probably thought the blockade would work by now. In other words, we have been blockading ships going into and coming from Iran. So we've shut their economy down in terms of shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead.
I think, without anybody having told me this, that we expected their people to pretty much topple their government by the end of March. And we would be looking at fair elections or something like that at this point.
Right.
It's
they had an uprising over there in Iran. This is what 6 months or a year ago, and they were slaughtered.
Yeah.
And they were put down, so they don't have any guns. They hide in their houses. I read about this. They don't. There's no way right now for them. That is the people who do want a revolution, who do want freedom, who want to get out from under the mullahs. They don't have any way to fight back.
Right.
And so,
in Trump's defense, I do believe this: if the election had gone differently, and we had a Harris-Walz administration, Iran might have already nuked somebody, just because Kamala said you can't do that. So Trump has done the world a favor.
Yeah, and
that's obvious.
We haven't given them pallets of money or cash either, like Obama did.
Yeah. Right, but I do think we've reached the point of being stuck.
We are,
and we're like a truck in a ditch. You know, we thought we had it in 4-wheel drive and we were going to get across the ditch, but
both wheels are in drive.
Now we need a 4-wheel drive with a winch. How you like that?
I like that.
Okay, so who's going to be the 4-wheel drive with the winch?
And unfortunately, some of our friends that have a car that could pull us out of the ditch are like, you got into that ditch.
Right.
You get yourself out.
Keep spinning your wheels. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and take our break a little bit early here. Not much early, and then when we get back, more news. We're done with Iran. I could talk about that the next half hour.
Not doing it. I'm not going to let us.
You're not going. Good.
I'm not going to let us.
Hold us accountable. Move on.
I'm going to steer the ship back.
We got more stories. What now?
I'm going to steer the ship back.
You steer that ship back. We're going to take a break right here. We'll be back with more of today's issues. No more Iran after this time out.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
At some time in his life, every person comes face to face with a difficult situation. None of us, regardless of our credentials, are spared of life's trying times. Therefore, any person is richer who has some foundation on which to stand when the storm rages high. How can we best face difficult situations? Well, the first word that's necessary here is dedication. Every person has some basis from which to view life, from which he faces difficult situations. For many, that basis is pure selfishness. What's best for me? What do I want to do? For others, the basis is genuine apathy. They don't care how the difficult situation turns out. But experience shows us that those who best cope with their difficult situations are those who have at the center of their life a genuinely deep and abiding faith in God. Difficult situations aren't near as difficult when a person knows that above all and beyond all is one who can and will guide us in our difficult situations. The author of the 23rd and 27th Psalms was only expressing an attitude shared by countless multitudes. Then the second word which is necessary here is decision. Study your situation carefully. Explore all possibilities open to you. Then make the decision which seems best. It may not be the decision you desire. In many cases, that option will not be open to you, but it will be the best decision possible in a difficult situation, and that's what you're searching for. Most often, our choices in difficult situations will not be between easy and hard decisions, but between hard and harder decisions. That's the reason they're difficult situations. The difficulty comes not so much in having a hard task to do, but in deciding the best way to do it. We can sympathize with a man who had to divide the eggs into 3 categories: small, medium, and large. Well, after 2 days, he quit, crying, "Decisions, decisions, decisions." Prayer needs to be a part of our experience prior to making a decision in a difficult situation. Difficult situations are hard enough in themselves, and certainly they are too hard to attempt without the help of He who has all knowledge. The final word in facing difficult situations is determination. Decision should be followed by action, else it only amounts to indecision. Once you make up your mind to act in a difficult situation, then immediately set the wheels in motion to carry out your decision. Perhaps the most miserable person in the world is the one who continually dwells on indecision. He will make up his mind, but he will not follow his decision with determination. He bounces to and fro, continually torn and twisted because of inaction from fear of wrong action. In facing our difficult situations, we must always be open to new truth, new light breaking in to make the path clearer. But likewise, we must be determined to stay with the highest and best route open to us until that new light breaks. We must be determined to do our best in a difficult situation. In the final analysis, that's all that any of us can do in any difficult situation, our best. And when we have done that, it is good enough.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Wildmon, president of American Family Association and American Family Radio. Hey, we are announcing 2 tours coming up in 2027, March of 2027. We're going to Greece and we're going to Italy. The Greece tour we call the Footsteps of Paul, and you're going to follow the footsteps of St. Paul in the country of Greece. And then the Italian tour, the Tour of Italy, Venice, Florence, Pisa, Rome. We're calling the Make Lasagna Great Again tour. And these are coming up in March of 2027. And if you want to read all about them, the itinerary, the cost, everything you need to know about these tours coming up in March of Greece and Italy, go to tours.afa.net. That's tours.afa.net. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of good fellowship, and see some of the most historic and iconic sites in the world.
Therefore, preparing your minds for action and being sober-minded, set your hope fully on the grace that will be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. 1 Peter 1:13.
American Family Radio. This is Today's Issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of Today's Issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of Today's Issues.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Tim, Wesley, Fred, and Chris here on AFR. What is former coach Nick Saban doing testifying?
He's talking about college sports. Saban is on this
testifying. He's in Washington.
Yes,
testifying before a Senate committee. What's he talking about?
He's talking about NIL, fair competition in sports, revenue sharing, things like that. Saban is one of the people that President Trump asked to be part of kind of a commission to discuss the current problems that we are having in college athletics in the NIL era, NIL being the name, image, likeness stuff. For people that haven't paid attention to sports in the last few years, college sports specifically, name, image, likeness is something that now allows a college athlete, men and women, to make some money. They're not employees of the university, but let's say a quarterback or a point guard, a pitcher, can make some money now, and they're paid basically through what are called collectives and other fancy named organizations that the athletic director oversees at a school. And it's caused some problems where smaller schools specifically, the concern is they can't compete because the state school up the road that has a lot more alums and therefore has more money, is creating instability in college athletics. And Nick Saban somehow knows the answer to all this.
But so I would be curious to see what he has to say at that. By the way, the NIL, we won't dwell on this because I know most people don't care in light of everything else that's going on in the world. But in college athletics, you can now pay athletes straight up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but actually, I think this has morphed into something that the ruling wasn't intended. The Supreme Court ruling wasn't intended, and never intended for it to happen. What happened? If you want to know, some companies were using college athletes to promote their products.
Right.
This goes back to what the O'Bannon brothers at UCLA in basketball. It goes back probably 20 years.
It's 30 years.
30 years already. So they were there. Correct me if I'm wrong here. The way I remember this, their images were being used.
That's right.
On a video game.
Yes.
Okay. At that time, it was illegal. Well, probably not illegal, but it was against the rules of the NCAA that college athletes be paid straight up. Okay, they could be compensated with a scholarship. They could have their, clothes. They could have certain things, but they couldn't just be paid outright like professional sports. Well, these brothers went to court and said, "Hey, you are using our images, our name, to sell your product, and you're not compensating us anything."
Mm-hmm.
They won that court case, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Okay, I agree with that. Okay, that much of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think. But here's what happened. Here's why some people say it's ruining college sports. So the Supreme Court ruled that you could compensate a student athlete if a company used their image to promote their product.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say your local Ford dealership in, I don't know, Fayetteville, Arkansas, wants to use the quarterback to say, "Come on down and buy cars from us." Okay, at the University of Arkansas. So that quarterback then would be paid by the Ford dealership to do the advertisement. That was the theory. That was the idea. So you use my name, image, or likeness, then I deserve to be compensated for such. Well, what happened with that was that turned into just every school getting a bunch of money together and just doling it out to all the athletes, regardless of whether their name, image, or likeness was being used to sell products. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
that's what happened, and that's where we are today. And I don't know, it's kind of like the genie's out of the bottle. I'm not sure exactly. People would want to know, do we even want to do anything about this? Does it matter? And I don't. I'm wondering, does it even affect college athletics at all that much? Because I like Indiana winning the national championship in football. I think that's refreshing that we don't have to watch Alabama or Georgia
again
or Ohio State again. No disrespect to those schools there, but they were great. Those universities I just mentioned were great prior to NIL, and they'll be great afterwards. They have great tradition and money and support and fan base. So I'm not dissing Alabama, Georgia, or Ohio State. I'm just saying for the rest of us, we'd like to see Indiana, pop up and win a national championship. So maybe in that respect, the NIL, Wesley, helps parity in college athletics. What do you think about that?
I'm growing to understand and kind of have a distance appreciation for the NIL money side of things. I don't like the transfer stuff. It's not the money. It's not paying a player for performing. As much as it is that there's the.
I hate it.
The commitment
for college sports fans. it's fruit basket turnover every single year in every single sport, and
even the NFL, even professional sports don't turn over that much.
No, you just sort of lose your soul.
That's right.
On that, because for college football for college sports fans, you watch your school and your school recruits athletes, and they're freshmen, and you know they came from this school in this town, and then you watch them develop as a sophomore and as a junior, and here's their senior year. It's no more of that.
Yeah.
It's every year you have to learn who. Well, it's a whole new roster.
And the ripple effect that you're seeing kids. Oh, I'm hurt, so they can get an injury.
I'm leaving.
So so they can get an injury pass, so that they don't lose a year of eligibility, so they can.
Yes, and that's created a new situation in college sports now. Where players make more money potentially in college athletics than they might at the professional level, which is why you're seeing a quarterback for a state school ask for an 8th year of eligibility because he had a paper cut when he was 18.
You did, didn't you?
I asked for an 8th year of eligibility.
It's still pending,
and
so
they
you
said,
better.
well, you never were on the team in the first place, so how can you get an 8th year out of eligibility?
And then you answered, I identify as
a
being on
starting
the team.
quarterback.
Yeah.
So I don't know what your problem
If
is.
Mississippi State is listening, I am happy to play and suit up for the Bulldogs for any sport. My only NIL
You were
demands
at
are barbecue.
5'6".
I got a lot of heart.
Ball of fire.
Yes. So,
Chris,
but
you think Doug Flutie was 5'9"? He towered over you.
Yeah,
didn't
man.
You? Yeah.
Let me
but
tell
you
you.
can bring it.
I dominated in Madden back in the day. But now
I thought you were going to say badminton.
No.
Okay, not badminton.
My one concern here for Congress really getting involved here is, and this is the conservative in me, my concern is government's going to get in and mess it up. Like,
Well,
name
it's none of
three
their
things,
business.
Right.
Yeah,
name
that's
three
right.
things government has done right. I can't get mail on time, and they're going to fix college athletics.
Yeah, I don't think the mail service is owned by the government anymore, but I get your point.
It was.
And we're not dissing all mail carriers.
No. Just
Many of whom listen to this show.
That's right.
We're
just some mail carriers.
Chris was just trying to make a point that the government doesn't solve
Yeah.
problems. Usually they make it worse.
Right.
And getting involved in college athletics. But the transfer thing where
That's the part
they
I hate.
used to have a rule in college sports where if you transferred schools, you had to sit out a year.
That's right.
Which made the players think before they just did some kind of an emotional.
They didn't more than sit out, you'd lose a year. It's not just sitting out and then you pick up where you left off. You'd sit out and lose a year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, but the point is, it was more of a thinking process, and you had to have, it teaches kids patience, and it teaches kids, young people, that you can't just
You gotta
leave.
think through things.
You can't just leave because your coach got upset with you at one practice, and you'd say, well, I'm out of here, and I'll just transfer to school B, and I won't have to suffer any at all for my, it's just the transfer thing where they just transfer every year. There's one kid I remember reading about. He transferred from 4 different schools in 4 different years.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. What's next?
Well, I just wanted to say real quick, I am waiting on the day where a kid goes into the locker room at halftime and comes out wearing the other team's jersey and says, tell me I can't.
All right.
Tell me I
They
can't.
just paid me more. I'm playing for them this half.
All right.
This half.
All right. From the golden era of college athletics to the Golden State, let's talk for a moment about some primary results in California.
I can't get me enough of California politics.
That's why I'm here,
Chris.
Tim.
You need to. I've been waiting for this story.
But
Go ahead.
he's gonna read this as if the cup's half full. So just let him have his moment.
Okay,
Let's
go ahead.
Chris.
All right, so California has what's called a top 2 primary system. Some people call it a jungle primary. And basically what it boils down to is when California has a primary for state and federal elections, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Libertarians, and other political parties, they all run together in one big primary. And the top 2 survive out of that. The top 2 vote getters survive out of that or advance out of that and go into a runoff or a general election. When it comes to the gubernatorial election in California, which
Say
is
that real fast 3 times.
gubernatorial.
Yeah.
That's a fancy way of saying governor's race.
Okay.
It looks like Republican Steve Hilton, that some people might recognize from Fox News programs, he's going to be in the general election against Javier Becerra. Becerra is another name people might recognize. He was the Secretary of HHS under Joe Biden when he was president. And it looks like Javier Becerra and Steve Hilton are going to advance to a general election. If Hilton were to win, he would be the first Republican governor in California since Arnold Schwarzenegger. Gavin Newsom is going to be leaving office and probably running for president in the not-too-distant future.
Disappointing.
And Javier Becerra is out there promising all kinds of stuff, and so is Steve Hilton. He's talking about, I'm going to make gas cheaper. I'm going to forgive your first $100,000 is going to be tax-free, all kinds of things. Here's a little bit of Becerra and Hilton clip 2.
There are powerful forces aligned to darken our light. The last thing these forces want is a working-class governor with a law degree and a union card ready to call them out. I am ready to lead the fight to uphold California's promise.
We have an option for change in California because everyone can see we're going in the wrong direction. We can offer Californians a new direction in November. 56% of Californians think the state's going in the wrong direction. And so now it looks as if we really can say, in the words that are behind me, change is coming to California.
Bless his heart. He really believes that. Huh?
It's possible.
That's a cup half full.
He's got a 50-50 shot.
He's got no shot. He's trying. But so did Larry Elder and others. California is never going to elect a Republican to statewide office again in our lifetime. They're too far gone. They're too blue. And so I like Steve Hilton, but he's got no shot. Go ahead.
What if we cheat, though?
Well, you can do that. You can do that. You can plan some cheating, box stuffing.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying that that is a blue state, and it's deep. It's getting deeper blue. Fred, any thoughts on this? Do you think I'm too pessimistic for Mr. Hilton there?
I kind of agree with you when it comes to Los Angeles and it comes to the governor's race. I think there is a component of the population there that is upset. We do have another story, and Chris may get to this in a minute. There's a woman named Sonia Shaw. Now, you may remember her she's out of the Chino Hills area of California, near Ontario, California. She has gained a national profile. She stands up for parental rights in schools. She's also been against boys playing in girls' sports. And I think she's been the subject of some court cases out there, too, as well, Chris. Yeah. You've covered this.
Yeah.
Here's the news on her. She now holds, as of last night, a sizable lead to become the possible state superintendent of education. So once again, and we've kind of talked about this before, when it comes to parental rights, when it comes to protecting daughters against men playing in sports and men going into girls' washrooms and change rooms, even Democrats are against that. In fact, the latest poll that I saw yesterday, well over 60% of Americans are opposed to guys playing in women's sports, guys being able to go into washrooms. She is capitalizing on that, even amongst Democrats in California. So you're going to have the possibility here of a conservative on these issues heading up the education venue there in California. That would be something. But again, it goes to both Democrats and Republicans, moms and dads, being against guys going into girls' washrooms.
Yeah. Well, Steve Hilton, Steve Hilton, the Republican, got what percentage of the vote?
He actually got more than Becerra. I've got the unofficial election results from the Secretary of State's website. So this morning, I printed this out. Hilton had 27.8% of the vote yesterday, which was 2 percentage points more than Becerra, his Democratic challenger.
Okay, but who is third?
That would be Tom Steyer, a billionaire philanthropist that was trying to convince Democrats that hate billionaires to vote for him. But Tom Steyer got 19.6. Behind him was Chad Bianco. And here's what Chad Bianco is the sheriff for Riverside County, Republican. Some people have made the argument that Bianco hurt Hilton here and maybe should have dropped out going into the primary, because had Bianco dropped out and endorsed Hilton, Hilton might theoretically have as much as 40% today.
Yeah, see, This is why Chris is here. Deep dives into the gubernatorial race. You said gubernatorial, didn't you?
I did.
Steve?
Don't ask me to spell it, but
Okay. Is what that's what our listeners expect from you.
gubernatorial.
They've come to expect from you.
Just saying.
Let's move on. I'll what will I do? I'll
Be careful.
I know I promised to eat a hat 4 years ago.
That's right. That's what I remember that.
If Democrats won Georgia, and I never did eat that hat, so maybe I'll eat two. Go double or nothing.
Double, that's it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Chris.
Let's end it on a positive note.
Let's have a positive note, Chris.
All right. So June is a month that many governments, including red states, are observing as what they call Pride Month, LGBTQ Pride Month. Arkansas this year is not one of those states. As a matter of fact, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders has declared June to be Fidelity Month. In her proclamation, Governor Sanders said her state and our nation are built on a foundation of faith, virtue, and morality. She added that dedicating a month to these principles helps strengthen society. She explicitly points to the Declaration of Independence's mention of nature's God, and she quotes George Washington on how virtue and morality are necessary for a popular government to work. For a reaction to the story, I reached out to our friends at the Family Council.
Did you reach out?
I did.
Okay. What did they say?
Don't take
we're
my
about
word
to
for
hear
it.
it?
Let's listen to David Cox of Family Council, clip 12.
We deeply appreciate the governor's proclamation. You know, this, if you look at the proclamation and what she's said here, these words, this is all about cultivating fidelity to God, to family, to community, to country. You know, those are founding principles for our nation, that we would be faithful to our God, to our families, and to our communities, and ultimately to our nation. So it's really, in that regard, a celebration of our heritage and what's, you know, allowed America to flourish the way it has for the last 250 years. And in tandem with that, it's also an opportunity to encourage Arkansans to practice virtue, commitment, responsibility, you know, celebrating the moral foundations of our state and our nation. So we think this is an excellent proclamation, and we really appreciate the governor issuing it.
Guys, it is possible other states might kind of follow Arkansas's lead. Maybe not this summer, but next year. And I say that based on a Gallup poll, which actually finds support for LGBTQ issues has dropped in this country.
Yeah, I think, we've been given the LGBTQ pride stuff like a fire hose.
Yeah.
Blasting in your mouth, and people are just tired of it. I think they're exhausted with how much pride do you need? Okay, yay. Yay.
Well, that's what they want. They
You're
want
gay.
you to clap.
You're gay. Yay. Let's clap.
But
most people don't care what somebody's, sexual orientation is, as long as you don't push it on everybody else.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And what's worse, fake applause or no applause at all? You know what I mean? Like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, over the years, they're wanting to force something on somebody that doesn't really believe it, and even when they do it, they're just doing it halfway. Like, what more do they want from us? You know?
Well, yeah, the LGBTQ community, if that's what you want to call it, has gotten everything they want for the last 20 years, 25 years, and so there's nothing else to conquer, really, in society. So I don't know. There's not even a need for. It's not even a need for activism on their part anymore. So the Pride Month, you know, the LGBTQ Pride Month is just, it's kind of like been there, done that. You really need to keep on pushing this, Fred.
Exactly. Along with Arkansas, Tennessee has taken a similar move. They want to celebrate families.
Nuclear Family Month.
Nuclear Family Month in Tennessee. So congratulations to Republicans.
In Tennessee, that's what they did. So instead of having Pride Month,
yes,
these states, Arkansas, Tennessee, are having Family Month, basically.
Celebrating mums and dads and kids.
Right.
And I think that's wonderful.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. You're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Next story, Chris.
Well, we from time to time point out.
What do we point out, Steve, Chris?
Well,
you can point out a lot.
I'm trying to pick here.
Well, if we got 4 minutes left.
We
here,
do.
We need to point out something.
Be careful when you're driving down the road, because from time to time we've mentioned this story. But self-driving technology, self-driving vehicle technology has been taking off. We have done stories on this show about how they're testing things in Texas involving, I'm not making this up, self-driving semis driving around the state of Texas. It was a pilot program. We've discussed it before. But there is an update on this based on a story Tim found on Daily Mail. I'll post it on our Today's Issues Facebook page. But now we got self-driving trucks delivering goods. So keep your eyes on the road, because the thing in front of you or around you may not be driven by a human.
Yeah, we're talking about. Are we talking about? I forgot. Are we talking about like FedEx deliveries or UPS? Or?
It's a combination of things.
Trucks. That would be weird, to say the least. If you saw a truck driving down the.
It's weird if any vehicle.
And it doesn't have a driver.
Yeah,
but this is real. This is starting to happen,
It
right?
is. I'm pulling it up here.
My question is, okay, there's nobody in that truck. Who's going to carry the package up to the front door?
You'd come get it yourself, I imagine.
That's a good question. How do you get? I don't know. We'll find out more about that. But I'm guessing.
Or robots.
I guess it's a robot.
There is robot technology in place, and I'm not making this up. The University of Mississippi, also known as Ole Miss, has for a while now had robots that deliver your food that you order through an app. It's a little like R2-D2 looking thing that travels around the campus.
Yeah,
you got to be careful.
Do that. Read the first sentence or two.
I am trying to pull it up here
from that story that I sent around, because this was no joke. This was like trucks are now being.
I got you.
Used driverless.
All right. So the headline is soon. 80,000-pound self-driving trucks could deliver packages to your door. Scrolling through a ton of ads here at the beginning of the thing. I can't get to the beginning of it. My computer is frozen.
That's bad timing.
This is also great radio. I'll see myself out after the show.
I'll pull it
computer's
up for you.
frozen.
Yeah, it's like stuck.
All right. Well,
And that's what worries me about driverless trucks.
Right.
What happens when the computer freezes?
I got you.
You're right about though. The question would be.
All right. Here's the first couple sentences. Imagine driving on the interstate and carefully overtaking an 18-wheeler when suddenly, as you peer into the rearview mirror, you notice there's nobody behind the wheel. Does this sound like an opening of a road trip horror movie? Question mark.
Terminator 8.
It's happening.
And in fact, it's happening already as a reality in Texas.
Yeah. Well, all right. So we will take a short time out right here and be back with more of today's issues in just a few moments.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
Not we have to be more careful, but I have to be more careful. It doesn't distribute the burden. It accepts it. I learned it as a caregiver. Caregiving has a way of stripping away the illusion, including the ones that I prefer to keep about myself.
Join Peter Rosenberger on Hope for the Caregiver, Saturdays at 7 a.m. and Sundays at 10 p.m. Central on American Family Radio. This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. Primary results are in for the top two vote-getters in a California race for outgoing Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi's House seat.
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has held her California congressional seat for nearly 40 years, and after Tuesday's primary, we now know the two candidates who will fight to replace her. California State Senator and former San Francisco Supervisor Scott Wiener came in first, followed by current Supervisor Connie Chan. Both are considered progressive, though Pelosi has endorsed Chan and appeared at a rally for her. As a state senator, Wiener has led various legislative efforts on behalf of transgender minors. Chan is backed by a number of union groups. Both received more votes than tech millionaire Mayor Saikat Chakrabarti, who was endorsed by Congresswomen Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Acceptance of same-sex marriage is down, especially among Republicans. Chris Foster has the results of a new poll.
65% of Americans say they believe same-sex marriage should be legal. Acceptance has been slipping since a high of 71% in 2022 and 23, driven down by Republicans at 37% in this latest Gallup poll. That's the lowest it's been since same-sex marriage was legalized nationwide 11 years ago. 87% of Democrats and 67% of independents approve. This poll finds 62% of U.S. adults view gay and lesbian relations as morally acceptable. That's the lowest since 2016. About 4 in 10 Americans view changing one's gender as morally acceptable, down from nearly half in 2021.
The U.S. and Iran trading more strikes as questions remain about the fragile ceasefire between both countries. Trey Yingst reporting from Tel Aviv.
Overnight, Iran attacked Kuwait and Bahrain with missiles and drones. At least one person was killed and more than 60 wounded, in addition to significant damage caused to the international airport in Kuwait. CENTCOM released a statement saying that an additional wave of Iranian drones attempting to attack U.S. forces in Kuwait failed to impact intended targets tonight. U.S. Central Command Air Defenses successfully downed multiple drones and ensured no American personnel or assets were harmed. The Iranian attacks were in response to U.S. strikes that targeted Qeshm Island in the Persian Gulf, according to the IRGC.
A national defense analyst says when it comes to Middle East diplomacy, President Donald Trump does not understand that part of the world. Chad Groening has more.
Israel continued to launch drone strikes against Hezbollah terrorists in southern Lebanon, despite a call from President Trump to dial back the fighting. Israeli forces recently made their deepest incursion into Lebanon in 26 years, but Beirut has been mostly spared over the past 6 weeks. Trump later announced that after a call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and communicating with the Lebanese terrorist group through mediators, that, quote, there will be no troops going into Beirut. Bob McGinnis is a national defense analyst and president of McGinnis Strategies, LLC.
He has diverse interests. Trump, he's not as concerned about the 7 million people in Israel as he is about the global economy and his own party being reelected in the Congress in the fall. So, and the Iranians, of course, are using that as leverage against us. So it's not a good situation. It doesn't mean that he doesn't support Israel. It just means that he's getting anxious about what's going on, and it's not helping him.
McGinnis says Trump is a deal maker.
He does not understand that part of the world. He has not understood. We're pursuing this expecting them to change. They're not going to change. They'll burn the country down before they'll cave in to Trump. And frankly, I think that really supports what Netanyahu's doing.
I'm Chad Groening.
New data shows boys are falling behind girls in educational attainment. Lucas Tomlinson has more.
The gender gap has completely reversed itself over the last half century. Women now outpace men in high school and college graduation rates, and one expert thinks modern education is increasingly tailored to girls. One area of concern with young girls, mental health. A recent CDC report found nearly 3 in 5 teen girls reported persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness, roughly double that of boys, and 1 in 4 said they made a suicide plan. Some point to chronic social media use as fueling this rise in anxiety, affecting academic growth, taking time away from reading the classics.
Oil prices are rising following the latest threats to the U.S.-Iran ceasefire, and U.S. stocks are stalling near their records. More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
If we lose this cultural war, we're going to have a hedonistic, humanistic society.
Discover the story of the culture warrior Don Wildmon and how he went head-to-head with Hollywood, Playboy, the homosexual agenda, and the Disney empire. The movement Don started paved the way for Christians to boldly stand for truth and righteousness in a hostile culture. Watch Culture Warrior today for free. Visit culturewarrior.movie.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, president of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. Whether you're watching, you may be watching on the video stream from YouTube, Facebook, Today's Issue, and our own streaming service that we own and operate. Because Brent, where can Brent Creeley, our producer, tell us the plethora of ways Brent, that we can?
The plethora.
Yeah, the plethora. You know what a plethora is, Chris?
I know what a plethora is. You can go to YouTube and type in today's issues live stream. Facebook is today's issues. You can go to our video streaming service. Our.
Oh, our. Okay.
Thank you.
I just wanted to, I didn't.
You were right.
Yeah.
Stream.afa.net and X, which was Twitter, and American Family Radio.
All right. Well, so we have a plethora of ways you can watch this here show.
Or a bunch.
Or you could say a bunch. Could it be El Guapo?
Yes.
that you're angry about something else and you're taking it out on me. Once again, you're taking it out on me.
You studied in journalism. Is a lot a word or not a word?
A lot?
2 words.
He was in the Bible.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Are you talking about? Oh, you're asking me what's the serious grammatical question you're asking me now, and I'll answer.
In school,
In
I
school.
I continued to get corrected when I would write the word a lot.
Okay, and how would you?
They would say that it's 2 words. It's a and then lot, and then a lot is not a word
2
because
words.
lot is a location.
You can mesh them together when you talk, like many people do. But I'm telling you, as a just pure English, it is 2 words: capital A, and then second word would be a lot, L-O-T.
But is L-O-T though? Is that not like a parcel?
Are you yanking my chain? Because I feel like you're yanking my chain here.
Is lot not a parcel?
Lot is it's a dangling parcel. A lot of people don't know.
So
this.
is it like a location, like a marked off area?
It can be both, you know.
Yeah. Okay,
let's introduce Steve Paisley Jordoff.
Hey, everybody.
Fred Jackson's back here.
We're introducing.
Why don't you yank Steve's chain?
Steve, would you clarify all of this for us?
Lot is a word that can be, it has multiple meanings.
Okay.
One is a parcel of land. Another is many.
Okay. And I didn't ask that as if I knew, though.
Steve studies the dictionary for a hobby.
I do. I love English. I love writing.
But all right, Steve, what's your first news story for us?
All right. Listen, I want to start off by saying that what we're going to be talking about has some very graphic and sensitive things. So if you're a parent out there with young kids, you might want to do something else for a while and then go back and screen this later to see if this
You're
is
giving a
appropriate.
warning right now that what we're about to talk about is unpleasant and graphic. We're not going to get explicit here with our language or
Obviously
anything like that.
The topic
Obviously,
itself is.
The topic itself is disturbing, so therefore we're giving a warning. Go ahead.
I am. All right. For decades, England has been, Europe, but England specifically has been importing people from other countries, and they don't assimilate. It's the
Muslims from the Middle East and North Africa.
Muslims from the Middle East, North Africa, and the woke philosophy has taken root in England to the point where it is now official policy. Let me go back and say where this started. For decades, there was a systematic child exploitation and rape scandal. Girls as young as 10. These actually Pakistani Muslims targeted white Christian girls, young girls, groomed them, and then after they attacked and sexually assaulted them, they would threaten them, threaten their families, and it went on for years. And they're just now this went on for decades, and.
You mean on a wide-scale basis?
Yeah, well, 1,400 children were systematically abused between 1997 and 2013.
Where do you get this information?
This is, from various sources.
Okay.
AI put this together for me.
Okay.
But official inquiries concluded that staff and police consciously avoided recording or investigating the ethnicity of the perpetrators for fear of sparking racial tensions. They dismissed victims as consenting or labeled them troubled. Sometimes they accused them of being drunk. They failed to properly track the ethnicity of child sexual exploitations to mask the true scale of the problem. So this went on, and it's just now coming to the fore.
I thought I saw something on this several months back, maybe even as late as a year ago. So why is it coming back up right now?
Well, they had a commission that did a study and took the testimony of these girls, and we're just now hearing the testimony of the girls. We can't bring you any of that. It is too graphic.
But that is out there.
It
but
is
we
out
can't,
there.
not for radio.
We can't do it here. But this kind of came also into focus because of the murder of a young man named Henry Nowak. Now, there's a difference here. We've been talking about Muslims.
Sure.
This is a Sikh, but it is immigration. This is an immigrant that they let in, and this young man, 18-year-old guy named Henry Nowak. He's a first-year accounting student at the University of Southampton in England, and he was coming home with his university football teammates, and he crossed paths with a guy named Vikram Digwa, 23 years old, a Sikh man who was carrying a knife. They had a little bit of an interaction, and Sikwa stabbed Nowak. Stabbed him 5 times, including fatally. They called the police, and Nowak was alert and present when the police got there.
That's right.
Well, Digwa said, he racially, he said some racist things against me, tried to knock my turban off. Well, the British police have been trained, and I'll play you the audio in a second, have been trained to automatically believe claims of racism.
That's right.
And and they handcuffed this young white kid. He said, "I've been stabbed. I can't breathe." The police, and this is on the body cam video, looked at him and said, "I don't think you have, mate." Meanwhile, he bled out and died.
Mm-hmm.
This happened months ago in December of 2025. The reason it's now coming to light is because they just had the trial, and they found this guy guilty of murder. And it is...
You mean the Sikh?
The Sikh.
Guilty of murdering the guy you just mentioned.
Correct. And so...
Did they handcuff him?
They handcuffed the white guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So the Sikh stabbed the white guy. The reason we were mentioning the ethnicity and the skin color and the religious is because it pertains to the woke movement.
That's right.
And their hostility towards white people,
mm-hmm.
in particular, and it's
cost this guy. It cost this 18-year-old his
life. So police come and they handcuff the guy who's bleeding out.
Yeah.
Because the other fella who stabbed him said he called me a racist name.
Right. And meanwhile, they did take the Sikh down to the jail, when they started figuring out, but they never once cuffed him. When he got to the police station, they offered him food, treated him with all kinds of generosity. Now, it's coming to light that the police are trained. They will lose their jobs if they don't treat racism as the first and foremost crime you can commit. I want you to hear, this is one of the members of Parliament who's talking here, and he's talking about official British police policies, cut 13.
The Police Anti-Racism Commitment, published in March 2025 by the NPCC and the College of Policing, urges police forces to reverse engineer the same arrest rates between ethnic groups, even though the offending rates are different, by treating different ethnic groups differently. Let that sink in for a moment. An official police document actually says people should be treated differently based on the colour of their skin. The dangerous ideology of so-called anti-racism, allowing people to be treated differently based on race, must end.
They are arresting and jailing people in England for social media posts that they think are offensive. And this is what happens when woke has its way.
No, and where was this? Oh, you got.
Go ahead, Fred.
No.
Okay.
This is the kind of thing we have seen it in Britain, and I believe to a certain extent it has already taken root here in this country as well. That we're parsing out individuals, and as an example, there have been a number of incidents recently where an African American, commits a crime on a subway station, whatever the case may be, and we find out they've been let out of jail released on early probation numbers of times. And so it has to do with woke prosecutors in this country. So this is why
That's the social justice movement.
And they've gone on to create more crime, murders and such.
Murdering people on subways. And, we had the case in Charlotte not too long ago. We've had another case, I believe, recently in New York. So we need to pay attention to this, what has happened in Britain, because it's moving to this continent as well.
Let me just say this. The belief, one of America's linchpin or stalwart or cornerstone ideals is that equal justice under the law, right?
Innocent to proven guilty.
Innocent to proven guilty, but the idea is that we should all be treated equally under the law.
Yes.
Okay. So let me explain just briefly what's described as the social justice movement, also known as the woke movement. And I know sometimes people say, "Well, you're dumbing things down." Well, a lot of people don't really understand what's going on here or the idea behind it. Because of the historical mistreatment of black people in America, namely slavery, and then the black folks didn't even have the right to vote until the 1963 Civil Rights, 64.
They had the right immediately following the Civil War, but they were discouraged, oftentimes prevented because of poll taxes.
Okay, but it wasn't slavery, but it was still, they were second-class citizens.
Yes.
Until the Civil Rights Movement took place in the 60s. And then the majority of white Americans realized that we have to make life better. We have to try to help to make life better for black Americans because they've been mistreated, and we acknowledge that.
And the Republican Party led the way, by the way.
Right. But I'm just saying that a vast majority of white Americans came to the realization that we have to do something about this problem. And we did. So the advancements we made in equal justice under the law and equal opportunity for all Americans, including minorities, black and then later Hispanics, today there is wide open opportunity for everybody. Okay, that's just. But what these social justice warriors want to do, the woke crowd, the people like this guy was talking about in England, what they want to do, they want to say this. They want to say, look, you white people have mistreated minorities, and you're going to pay for it. All right? You're going to pay. You've historically mistreated minorities, so it's time for you to pay for it. How do you pay for it? We're going to let black youth out of jail easily because they don't deserve to be imprisoned because of the way their ancestors were treated by you white people. So if this is the way they think. I'm just telling you the way they think. I don't subscribe to that at all. I believe in treating everybody equally because that's the Christian way, first and foremost. All right, but secondly, because that's the American way. But I'm just telling you, this is the way these people think. You'll hear them talk out loud. They hate Jews too, but they'll say whites. That's the reason they use terms like stolen land. Mm-hmm. Okay, you white people have mistreated Native Americans. Therefore, you deserve. Therefore, the Native Americans deserve reparations or money or to not be punished for violating the law because their ancestors were mistreated. That's a warped way of thinking, but this is the way these people think. Go ahead.
And I'll tell you,
does that make sense?
It is currently the prime the prime belief of the Democrat Party right now. I'm doing a story on the Democrat Socialist Party, which is taking control of the United States Democrat Party. And people like the Squad and Mondani in New York City. They are enraging a generation of young black, young liberals of all races. They are putting these lies about the racial past, truth, but it's been paid for by a bloody civil war in many ways. But so they're enraging and creating a whole generation of victims and promising them free stuff that they'll never deliver. So this is what you're voting on, this particular these kind of policies in November.
Go ahead, Wesley.
I was going to make a point on this. What was the young Nowak, yeah.
The one who was killed?
The one was killed. The one that was killed. The Deputy Chief Constable, Robert France, I listened to his comments on this earlier this morning, and he says this. He said, I'm sorry that Henry's life could not be, when the killer, quote, when his killer made the call, talking about the Sikh, to the police, he didn't call the police, he called the police, he didn't call an ambulance service. He lied, talking about the Sikh. He lied on the call. He lied when he called the police, and he lied when the police attended the scene. He continued to lie to Henry's conditions of deteriorated. The point that I was going to make on this when I was listening to him, he was reaffirming that racism is at the top and it should be prioritized. And this is a total breakdown on how the police are trained in the United States. In the United States, you detain everybody that's at the crime of a scene, and then you sort out the details later. The fact that their excuse is, well, he lied to us about racism. That was his reason. That was their reasoning for letting him bleed out. They said he was a racist. I know we made that point earlier, but just think about that for a minute. The fact in the United States, if a police officer shows up to a crime, everybody doesn't. If you're holding a weapon of any kind, even if it's for self-defense, they take the weapon from you and you're detained because they don't know that it's for self-defense until they figure it out later. Did you?
Yeah, see what
That's supposed to work. But Fred, there's something called the Ferguson effect, where the police will err on the side of a black victim or a black person. For fear of losing their job or being called racist.
Yep, that has been happening since George Floyd, and then you're referring to
probably prior to that,
Ferguson, Missouri, where most of the cops left that city. They left that city because, remember, Barack Obama was in charge. They set up this commission, and basically, you cops did everything wrong.
Yeah, I think a lot of this has to do with people go into their different camps or their tribes, and the facts of the situation of the case get lost in passion. And so for example, in the black inner city, the inner cities of America, which is mostly black folks and other minorities, Hispanics, there is a tension between the police and the community, and there has been for a long time, and there probably will be for a long time, just because there's so much confrontation. It's unavoidable. So there's a lot of mistrust, I'm saying, so people who don't live there need to acknowledge that does exist, because most inner city America is not made up of a lot of white folks. Okay, it's mostly blacks and Hispanics and other minorities. I'm talking about within the city limits. So they have a different relationship with the police officers and the police department. And I would say the police department and the sheriff's department, they all are doing a better job in America of trying to build relationships with the inner city community. But at the same time, you've got to acknowledge too that there is a real problem, especially with young African-American males in this country who commit 55%, I think, of all violent crime. And they only represent like 5% of the population. So I think something needs to be done within the African-American community, and a lot of people are trying to address that issue.
Right.
Because that's rarely even talked about. Think about that for just a moment. I think I'm citing FBI statistics. I've seen it multiple times. And this is the reason every day in the newspaper and on the news you see 14 to 25-year-old black males in trouble all the time, because, and you go, what is wrong with, are they not getting any guidance in life? So you just go, well, if 13% of the population in America is made up of African Americans, okay, let's say 6% of that would be male. Let's say in that male population that
3 to 5%,
not even that, yeah, maybe 3% would fall into the 15 to 35-year-old demographic. But then you could see, and you're telling me that, or maybe older than that, you're telling me that population's committing over half the violent crimes in America? That has to be acknowledged as a real serious problem that needs to be addressed. And when you say things like, well, we need to promote marriage so that these kids have dads
that
and have
needs to be a breaking news.
And have mentors, then you're called a racist.
Yeah.
Then they tell you, oh, you don't believe single women can raise children? My mama raised me. You see what that's the kind of pushback you get.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to say, no, nobody's saying that, because we all know examples, even in white community or Hispanic, that single mothers have raised children to be responsible adults. But the larger, don't take an individual situation, take the larger picture here. If you have a multiple generational welfare situation, and they don't have dads in the home, which 75% of African American homes don't have children or born out of wedlock. I think it's up to 40 or 45% in the white community now, and that's growing.
That's right.
Then so it doesn't matter what color you are, if you don't have dads in the home raising their children, you're going to have problems on a massive scale down the road with your young people, and that's what we're seeing happening in America. And it's not racist to point these things out, but when you do point these things out, you're called a racist.
Yep.
And another group of victims are black people in these inner cities.
In the inner cities, that's right.
Because their little boys and girls are being caught in the crossfires between the gangs.
Yes.
And they're pleading, but the boss of the police departments are saying, no, you better not go down there because there's create racial tension. These dear moms and dads are saying, we need help. We need help. Because our little boys and girls are being
it creates an unsafe envibrent
for everyone
in the neighborhoods in the inner city.
Yeah,
for sure. Thank you, Steve.
My pleasure.
All right, thank you, Wesley, Fred, Brent Creeley, our producer, Cole Green, our video man.
I thought we did slightly above better than average today.
I think we did
above better than average.
I think we did.
See that?
Good.
Yep.
Just added another word in there.
There you go.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Wildmon, president of American Family Association and American Family Radio. Hey, we are announcing 2 tours coming up in 2027, March of 2027. We're going to Greece and we're going to Italy. The Greece tour we call the Footsteps of Paul, and you're going to